When I was really young, my father's brother gave him and the whole household this awesome, like Simon Says memory device. It lasted on two AA batteries and lasted forever. Now Simon Says, you're a 4-year-old kid, and especially in the 90s, those glowing lights. Like, okay, I'll play with it for some minutes, and those minutes turned into hours over the years. What I liked about this device was that it had 4 levels on it. Let's say those 4 levels were amateur, intermediate, expert, and professional. And like every time you played a game, depending on how many blips you had stackpiled before it went through, you had accumulated a rank, and that rank determined your greatness in life and how good you are as a person, or so I thought. And you would hate getting amateur, but I'm thinking about it today, and I'm thinking maybe amateur isn't so bad. Amateur comes from this French root for ama, I think relates to love, and chur is a sure. So amateur to me kind of makes me think of someone who's doing it for the love, which is honestly kind of still better than nothing. If you're doing it, you're still better than nothing. And I'm just saying, maybe amateurs out there shouldn't feel bad about being amateurs. And then you got intermediates and experts and professionals. And this got me thinking, because people do strive to be professional and stuff. And I think we're living in a feelings culture now where we're expecting people to feed back to us as if we're expert or even pro if we are doing something at a proficient level, an intermediate, beyond just intermediate. And I'm wondering, like let's apply this to if you're an artist. If you can kind of draw, and you draw just because you love to draw, and you're not super good, but you do it a lot and you do it regularly. Let's say you do it for hours and hours a day. I mean, you might actually be an amateur. And if you are an expert, that means you're better than the person who's between things, the intermediate. But the professional, that's someone who is not doing it for the love. That's the scary thing for me. They're doing it because it is their profession. They can make an entire livelihood, and they do it by trade. And that's the real thing about the professional to me. So it got me thinking, because let's say you play games, video games, and if you are an amateur gamer, this means you do it for the love. Like, surprise, most people are amateur gamers, and that's why they don't go to work and try to tell you how great they are at a game. But if you are an expert, like in court, if you are an expert, everyone's supposed to take your opinion as authoritative and as the word of the law. And if you are a professional, again, you're not doing it for the love. It doesn't define you. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant whether you love it or not. You do it because that's your livelihood. That's your trade. So a pro gamer, they get really angry in their games. They don't enjoy their games. They get killed in League of Legends. They like rage out, and if they win, they're like, good, it's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm a pro. And they're not doing it for the love anymore. They're doing it because that's their livelihood, except they're not getting paid. So I mean, that's how we define pro, and I think that's the thing that fucks it all up, is now that we've added money to it, which takes love completely out of the equation. I don't know anymore. I'm just wondering, maybe it shouldn't be a slur if someone calls you an amateur. We act like being called an amateur is like being called a noob. And I still say being an amateur means that you got on the scoreboard. Amateur player at this game knows that knows where they stand, and they know if they love this game or not, which I can't say the rest for any of you who haven't tried this game at all. You have no idea what I'm talking about. This toy is. And are you still even listening? Like, why did this happen?